Russia's nuclear energy is soon to power Vietnam. This comes as President Medvedev visited the gathering of the Asian tigers in Vietnam. The region's rapid economic growth made it an emerging powerhouse of the world. RT's Katerina Azarova has more from Hanoi.
This ASEAN summit has been very productive, like as many leaders have said, like most of the ASEAN summits, a lot of work has already been done. The Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, taking part in today's addresses and working sessions, also said that Russia's involvement in the Asia-Pacific region is of a key strategic nature, and he hopes that his relationship with the Asia-Pacific region countries as very potential showing and economically developing economies and countries, he hopes that that relation between those countries and Russia will only grow and prosper. The Russian president spoke at length about the importance of the Asia-Pacific region and Russia's cooperation with it.
The successful completion of the new Asian Pacific House is in line with all countries' interests and hopes for a calm and constructive life. I would like to note that Russia is open to this kind of cooperation, especially the creation of alliances.
Of course, many issues were addressed during the ASEAN working sessions. For example, the issues of natural disasters, which of course this region is specifically prone to. Also, various other issues like economic cooperation, global security, dealing with the aftermaths of the global financial crisis. All those issues were discussed to much satisfaction, it seems, from the ASEAN leaders. The region is a very attractive one, primarily because it has a lot of economically growing countries. China, of course, is one of Russia's main partners and is, of course, a part of BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. So some experts say one of the strongest emerging economies in the world today, and those poised to deal with the effects of the global financial crisis a lot better than the so-called economic giants like the United Kingdom, the United States, and the European Union. But also, its relations with Vietnam go back a very long way, and they do seem to be very strong ties. As the Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said in an article published in a local newspaper, Russia stood by the Vietnamese as they fought for their independence and will continue to stand by them as they emerge a strong economy into the 21st century, into the world arena. As my colleague Maria Finoshina found out, the economic ties between Moscow and Hanoi are growing stronger by the day.
Vietnam in the 21st century. It might look like a throwback to Cold War times, but it's not the case. Vietnam is modernizing, its economy growing at an increasing rate, and it's looking to its old allies to help spur that along.
Russian money, big companies are flowing to Vietnam, bringing millions of dollars of investment, which is a good sign of healthy relations.
But the biggest venture is still ahead. Russia is to build Vietnam's first atomic power plant.
It took several years for geologists and environmentalists to find the right place here in Vietnam to build the country's first nuclear plant. They chose the central province, Ninh Chăn. Here it is. Locals call it the land of Sen and Sun. There is no rain here. Now it's raining, but it's for the first time in the last few months, and as a result, few people living here, and that makes it an almost ideal place for future projects.
The plans include 8 power stations within the next 2 decades. We think the first unit will be launched by 2020. It will provide us with cheap and safe energy to meet up to 15% of the rising demand.
Local people welcome the idea of their region, which is among the poorest in the country, becoming Vietnam's energy powerhouse. Communities here have traditionally been dependent on fishing and rice growing, but now they sense a brighter future.
It'll boost infrastructure and give us opportunities. I think one day my children could be working at this plant. And for this, they'll work hard, get good education, and be smart. It's an honor for us.
The Thanh Long Bridge over the Red River north of Hanoi in Vietnam, the country's longest. For years, it symbolized long friendship between Vietnam and its strongest ally, the big communist brother, the USSR. Its Vietnamese name could be translated as Rising Dragon, and it seems the dragon is still flying high. 20 years on after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia is among Vietnam's closest partners. Maria Finoshina, RT, Vietnam.